something man-made and something organic together in a sort of seasonally pitch theme would be very, very good. So I'm going to start with the drawing of this ribbon, and I'm going to start with the bow area. There are lots and lots of curves, straight lines, angles, things twisting over each other, which makes it, you know, fascinating to draw. So you'll have to choose, you know, yourself a point on which to start and work from that point and keep relating the shapes back to that original point. So if there is, for instance, a, you know, hole like there is obviously here, I'd probably start with this back edge, then come round the front. But what I've got to be careful of is that I can also see down inside and see the back edge. So what I'm looking at is a strange negative space in there, which I have to consider as I'm doing, you know, the edges that are the positive shape. Anyway, I'm going to start, and you do the same if you've got ribbon. If you haven't got ribbon, then start with drawing in pencil one of the shapes or leaves or whatever that you've got, and we'll have a look at what everybody's doing in about 20 minutes. We'll just keep it to that to start off with, okay?
Sorry, Sue, are you doing a study or are you doing the final thing?
I'm just doing a study of the ribbon at the moment, and this will probably be a page of studies.
Okay, that's great.
What I've said to the others is that I've started with drawing the ribbon because I think ribbons are an interesting thing to draw because of the way the edges cross over each other and twist and turn. So you get a combination of you have to use straight lines and you have to use curving lines, and obviously some edges will be closer to you than others, and you can see the back of some edges, and that you can either do with using tone, which I'll show you in a minute, or you can use it by doing different weights of line. I'm suggesting that people can use fine liners and a bit of wash this evening.
But you're using pencil at the moment?
I'm using pencil at the moment to draw it because it's a complex shape, and I think for the purposes of showing people how to do it, I think it's easier if I just do it simply in pencil first.
Okay, I'll do the same.
Okay, and what I did say was that wherever you start from, bear in mind that you relate each line and point and shape back to that original place that you started.
It's like a reference.
Yes, as a reference point, and you check the proportion and the length of the lines and keep going back to that original point. Like I'm looking at this point here, and then I know that I've got, maybe this negative space I've drawn in here possibly could be a little bit smaller than I've drawn it. So in other words, this edge could come up a bit more.
Okay.
So you can make adjustments, as you're drawing it. And if you do it in pencil, it's easier to start off with, and then you've got something that is more accurately observed, perhaps, before you apply the fine liner and the wash.
Okay. Thank you. One more thing, I've got mine on a bottle with stuff in it. Is that all right?
Yes.
I've got a problem that I can't tie a ribbon very nicely.
Well, mine's looking a bit.
No, I thought yours looked good.
Wilted.
And I've had to shine my torch on it because I can't actually see what I'm doing. Can we start sort of shading it in and stuff? Or?
Just hold on a minute before you start doing your shading. I'd like to see the line drawing before you do any shading on anything. Where you use the pen and ink on the, you can ignore the red. You don't have to put colour in. The lines of the cross hatching or the lines of your fine liner need to follow the angle of the ribbon. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So if this ribbon is actually, on its side, so the lines need to follow it. So if I draw this here, so if you've got a piece of ribbon like this, and you're wanting to put some cross hatching or whatever, or line in, the line needs to follow the angle of the actual material itself, right? That's one thing. If you're going to use cross hatching, you can, but do it carefully. It shouldn't. The spacing in cross hatching should be even. Okay. Can you see that? It shouldn't. When you do cross hatching of any sort, it's important to keep the space between the lines regular. And similarly, when you go over it the other way, again, it needs to be regular. The way of using it successfully is like if you want to do more than, like a double layer of cross hatching.
I can't see that, Sue.
Sorry. You do it inside the dark area where it's dark. Okay, you put perhaps 2 lines of cross hatching in here. I've done 2 lines of cross hatching. Can you see that? I'm sorry, I can't go any closer. But I would be a bit circumspect about it. I wouldn't just use it any old how. With the leaves, it needs to follow, when you've got a leaf, okay, any leaf, you've got its central line, and then you've got its veins, however they grow.
See.
Sorry. Yeah, you've got central vein, and then you've got the subsidiary veins that go like this. If you were going to try and show some tone on that leaf, say this side of it was in shadow and I wanted to use cross hatching, I'd use it like that, so it follows the growth rhythm of the actual leaf itself. So the veins will be like that. Yes. And an edge that is close to you might weight up the line a bit. The edge that's further away from you might not have so heavy. You may not have any cross hatching. If you want to use cross hatching the other way, again, just be very careful how you use it, because it can become visually distracting rather than expressing tone. Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, in a way, I prefer this drawing simply because the pen and ink work is limited. It's not overbearing. It's, there's a little bit of it, but I mean, if I took the color away, it would still, I could use a bit of grey wash or something like that. I could use grey wash on here. If you haven't got watercolor, you can use grey wash. Just dilute your ink down a bit if you've got some liquid ink. On the berries, on this one, on the far one, I did use a little bit of cross hatching, but I used it on the dark side of the berry. It's always just to enhance where the dark edges are, not for anything else.
Yeah.
and I used it a bit on the cast shadow, although I'm not sure I like that very much. I think I prefer the cast shadows just kept really simple. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start with my, well, I'm just worried because I'm not sure that my fine liners are water, you know, they're water soluble, so I'm just going to try it out first of all. I'd rather not have it smudging into the colour. Yeah, you put water on this and it's not bad, but it does bleed a bit. Can you see that? So I'd try out your fine liner with a bit of water on it and see if it's water soluble or not. So because it is a bit water soluble, I'm going to start with using some actual colour rather than, and I'm going to use it as a wash. So I'm going to use, you know, light, medium and dark tones. I'm going to do it tonally because that is what will help me express the actual form